Well, hey folks, welcome to the Rattly video today here. I'm Angel, and the Rattly sound you're hearing is the very rattly aeroplane, which is a very noisy plane in general, of the Douglas DC6 by PMDG. The DC6 is a piston-powered airliner and cargo plane that was built between 46 and 58, originally intended to be a military transport for World War II. After the war, it became revamped, revitalised to compete against the Constellation from Lockheed as a long-range commercial transport. Over 700 were built, and a lot of them are still flying now. And originally it was going to be the C-118 Liftmaster. In fact, I think it actually served in the US Air Force. And in the Navy under one of those R-something variations, probably R6, because the R4 was the DC-4. So, there you go. But either way, the aircraft is a 4-engine monster. Quick specifications on this baby. She can hold about 68 passengers, about 100 feet long. Max takeoff weight of 97,000 pounds, 52,000 pounds empty. It has 4 Pratt & Whitney R2800s, which you can imagine 2 of those were in the A26 Invader. They are powerful engines. And she has 4 of those big Hamilton Standard props, which are the hydromatic constant speed ones with auto feather and reverse thrust on a prop aircraft. Range was over 3,900 multiple miles. This thing was a monster. But without further ado, of course, it comes only stock with 2 liveries. The 2 PMDG house liveries for the A and B model that you get. Now, A is set up as the cargo, B is set up as the passenger versions. But if you see here, you do get the launcher for the PMDG aircraft, which lets you download a bunch of liveries that are already available there, and you'll be able to add them afterwards as normal. So, there you go. Let's take a look around this beautiful beast. Now, oh, hello. FPS said bye-bye for a second. I had to find an airport with big enough runway where it's Victoria International in BC. Now, the quality of textures in here is stunning. Look at this thing. It is absolutely beautiful. Now, we have got our gust locks on somewhere. There we go. Disengage the gust lock, which allows us to actually move our control surfaces. But everything functions even from the... Oh, hello. Geez, my mouse just went flying around. We can unlock the window there and pull it open as much as we like, or close it. We'll close it for now. But the aircraft is honestly breathtaking. You've got your little control system here, which is integral to the operation of this aircraft. You can set external items here, which we'll put out now. Open some of those entrances and exits for you. So I think once the door's open, we can actually get the stairs out. There we go. But we have Fuel Payload Manager. We have the AFE, which is the Automatic Flight Engineer, which can take care of things like cruise settings, descent, in-range landing, parking before takeoff settings. You can follow maintenance here. You can repair the engines. You can go across to engine stress, and you can see what the engines are actually doing. So, interesting there. Seem to think they are not operating. There we go. Answers. And we have all their options. We're going to leave it as the simple setting for today because I have not had yet time to read the entire manual of this thing. And it is a complicated manual. So let's take a look outside, shall we? This thing is stunning. The quality of work here is beautiful. Now, this costs $54 to $56. There's a discount on today for launch day. But look at all this. Tugs, engine stands, stairs for the ladder, for the doorway, for the main passenger door. This is a gorgeous aircraft. You've got the crew access there. It is beautifully modelled, gorgeously faithful. PMDG do not skimp on that sort of thing. And honestly, I think it's very hard to try and even suggest PMDG haven't got something perfect. They are meticulous when it comes to this sort of thing. And for some reason... Okay, then now it wants to move around. Just look at this. Gorgeous modelling. Okay, a little bit closer up, it's a little lower detail, but it's a big aircraft. You're not viewing it from that close. I'm going to be slightly critical, of course, because this is expensive. This is over $50 for an add-on. Now, in terms of ground candy, you have a metric ton. And that's why my button wasn't working, because I had my microphone cable under it. If I sound different, I apologise. I'm using my backup today because my main one's dead. Obviously, the normal crew from the sim will show up in your cockpit, which is very nice. Let's go back inside. Now, for simplicity's sake, if you're using, like me, the honeycomb yoke, you'll want to set your magnetos to both before you use any of the actual ready for start and ready for taxi settings. We're going to set ready for taxi, and hopefully this beast starts itself up. And you'll soon hear our engines start to come to life. Now you'll find the automatic flight engineer will talk to you, which is very cool. And it's retracting all those systems. You can fold even down the jump seat, which is nice. Now the one thing I don't like about the cockpit textures are the photo bits here. I feel that for this price and this level of modelling, they could have modelled this sort of stuff in. It just throws me, seeing photorealistic textures that were clearly from a photo that's just been plopped in there. Does irk me a little for the price. Now the quality of the panels and the actual modelling in here is gorgeous. Every detail has been modelled in. Every little detail. It is beautiful. I don't think I could open the storm windows there. No, I don't think we can. But every little detail has been modelled in. All the systems are breathtakingly detailed. Look at this stuff. Gorgeous. But, yeah, that photo texture does bother me slightly, if I'm honest. Now, they've used a lot of photo texture in it, but when used correctly, like they have for the vast majority of the aircraft, it looks just gorgeous, looks fine. The panel textures there, the glare shield, all looks good. A little bit of... Am I seeing... Okay, no, that's actually meant to be a texture. It looked like it was repeating over on itself, but... Okay, so all our engines, I believe, are operating here. The mighty roar of the DC6. Let's power this thing up. Listen to that. That is a mighty roar. Right, let's get this baby moving. You want to see how she operates, because I've not flown this before. I did throw it in the sim to try it out and see how it would operate, and... Well... we'll see. I'm going to set my AFE to before takeoff. And he will take care of that sort of stuff for me. So we'll taxi out to the runway here at Victoria. Oh, hello, buddy. Watch out for your head. Big propellers.
Down, forward.
These aircraft don't even care if a plane's coming. It's one of the worst things in 2020, I think. So there's our runway. So you'll see he just set my flaps for me there. So there's our runway. We'll taxi down to the end.
Flaps set 20. Windows and turbine.
And we should be good here for departure. Now the AFE can, if you are not used to flying this plane, you can fly this with no experience. And you can fly it in almost a Control E. Oh, hello. There is a seam in the texture there, I can see. There is a break in the actual materials. The modelling materials is some sort of poly glitch there, which is why you're seeing that little kind of glance of flickering light. That does trigger me, definitely. But I'm sure that'll get patched out. Now, they've turned this around really, really quickly, so I'm impressed. So our flight engineer's got everything set up for us. And if I look down here, I will see everything looking good for us. Before takeoff checks are complete, our flaps are set to 20, so he's done everything for us. Right, let's get ourselves out of here. Now, this is a very systems-heavy aircraft. It is definitely a hit on your performance. If you struggle, you're going to struggle. It's not a light aircraft. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not light. Okay, here we go. Run up the power. We'll go for takeoff.
Water injection. 30 inches stabilize. 30 inches stabilize.
Here we go. Rolling now. Just make sure my trim wheel is behaving itself per flight sim liking to not recognise that it's actually been set. Why are my engines rolling back? Oh, I'm pulling the power back. Why are we doing that?
30 inches stabilized. Cal flaps.
Okay.
Cal flaps. Cal flaps set. Full power, please. Going full power.
Advancing the engines. This is going to run out of runway, baby. We're going to run out of runway. I think I used the flight engineer wrong. Or not. No, we're clearing up. We're lifting up. Okay. So she's rolling into power a little bit here.
Full power set.
There we go.
Auxiliary, gear up. Gear selected up.
Oh, it's doing that. Okay. We're flying.
Gear up, lights out.
Now this has got a definite tendency to want to roll left as I even up here. I can feel it rolling over on me. So I'm having to apply a lot of... Are you going to behave yourself? It wants to roll to the left as we're very low down here, so let's try and climb up here a little bit. That's a lot of nose-up attitude. You know what? You can sod off. Leave my controls alone. I don't trust you yet, especially not when you're messing with my settings as I'm taking off. There we go. She is a very big and finicky beast, and I'm probably going to blow out the damn engines doing this, so we'll pull the power back. One engine is actually higher RPM than the other. That's its fuel flow is more. Interesting. And I appear to have an engine down, judging by this. But I don't, looking at this. So let's make sure our flaps are retracted. That'll drop the nose down slightly for us. How does she handle? She feels big. Let's turn around, shall we? She feels very big. Compared to the other airliner that's available as a payware add-on for 2020, you've got the CRJ. That feels like a fighter jet in comparison to this monster. But this is a classic. This is not a light, simple, modern, efficient airliner. This is a 50s machine. It is gorgeous. It's like a 55 Bel Air with wings and 4 massive engines. So you're dealing with a lot of power. Roll around here. Just got to hope that she behaves herself. We should see Victoria off our front in a moment. As the nose wants to roll over to the left as we get less torque. Interesting. Okay, there's the runway. We're going to put this back in, and it's not going to be pretty, but we're going to try. So I'm going to deploy my gear. And I'm going to set landing flaps. So there's the runway ahead of us. We'll roll on to final heading in a second. My FPS is not fantastic, but it's not bad. I average 30 to 40, and I'm sitting right now at 18, 19. So it's a chonker, for sure. But if you're willing to turn down scenery settings for this aircraft, then worth it. I'm not necessarily that much of a airliner fan, even a classic like this, to fly it a lot. I'm more likely to fly to remote areas. As we're coming up on the runway now. Never landed this before, so you'll have to give me a little credit for this. Nor have I really seen any tutorials on settings or power, or read any of them. I'm doing this blind, because I want you to see what it's going to be like when you do this for the first time, without having bothered, like me. Can you Control Easy this in its own version of Control Easy? Well, I unfortunately have to give the caveat that I've flown DC4s a lot in FSX. So I know I'm coming in just about slow enough here. I'm sinking down, but I'm sinking down a little bit late here, so we'll let the nose drop down a tiny bit. We'll pull some power off. Roll this back level here. Keep the nose a little high. And we've got main gear touchdown. Let the nose settle there. And we have touchdown. Applying gentle braking here. Speed's coming down nicely. Pull flaps in. And there we go. It flies like a beauty. Now, there's probably going to be some fuel balance issues in terms of weight positioning I had there. And there could well be some torque factors at play, but I definitely would want to put some aileron trim on in that if I was basically flying that normally, because it definitely had a tendency to want to go left. the whole time. I think it was a NASCAR DC6 rather than a United one. But overall, this is really nice. If you are into this sort of thing, this is definitely worth the price. PMDG have a great history in terms of updates and fixing their products. They have a great history in terms of quality. The system's depth is insane. I'd put this up here with the AccuSim aircraft, really, in terms of its overall abilities it gives you, the features you have. The operations here with the computer are fantastic. What it gives you is amazing, and the flight engineer is great because it can take care of a lot of those settings for you and do the things that a second crew member would do. Because this is not a plane you would fly solo. You would fly this with 2 people minimum, probably 3 in the height of its kind of airline service, but even in cargo configuration, you'd fly it with 2 minimum. You'd have to. One person has to manage systems, one person flies. It is old school. There's no computerization. Well, apart from that, but we don't talk about that. Is this aircraft worth it while I knock it down to... Where are you? Cold and dark setting. Is this aircraft worth it? Do you like DC6s? Do you like airliners? Do you like retro airliners? And do you want something you can pick up the handbook and follow every step and fly? Then yeah, this is exactly what you want. This is the first big, gorgeous, heavy system classic airliner to enter the sim. It's good. It's really good. I cannot fault it. Thanks for watching, guys. Other than a couple of texture issues, and maybe one little model issue on there, yeah, very much worth it. Worth the price if you're into this sort of aircraft. I would recommend. Bye.